Go to your spot. Good boy. Come on. Here's your food. There you go. Good boy. Good morning. We weren't so cold last night, so the guys got a break. We were supposed to have a little bit of rain overnight, and it didn't materialize. As you can see, it's dry out here. And as far as I know, still calling for this one more super freeze over the weekend. What's the matter? It's all over here. Morris was over here eating. It's not like him to leave his bowl. You can see what the raccoons made a mess for me last night. I just love it when they do this. It's because pieces of the dry chow get down between the bricks. Hi, Morris. Oh, you're such a pretty boy. And they want to, you know, they want to get to that food. So, you know, we don't have any ice in the water bowl this morning. We just have dirt. I dump it out here this time of year with all the rain we've had. There's nothing that needs water this morning, so I just put it on the ground. You know, in the summertime, it's always going in a plant pot. So I did see Spot last night on the security cameras. He continues to come between 5 and 6. I often look out there, but I guess I'm looking too early or too late. But I saw him. He was here for extended time. He ate. I don't think he's missed a day, so that's all good. Go to your spot and eat. Go to your spot and eat. Are you all of a sudden boycotting the chicken? That would be, here, a surprise. There, eat on that side. Eat you some chicken. Good boy. Hey, Panther. Good morning. Hey, bud. See your heating pads on. That's good. How are ya? Hey, bud. So on Apple TV, Don and I finished watching the first season of Silo last night, and apparently the second season is in production, so maybe later this year, but probably early 2025 it would get released. And wow, was that show good. Don and I were having a conversation the last, 10 or 15 minutes of the show, and then for 15 minutes after it ended, talking about what we thought was going to happen, what was happening, what happened, what was our interpretation of that. It was really thought-provoking. So it is a book, and I'm probably going to go listen to it. Yeah, that was really good. I would, if you like science fiction, dystopian stuff at all. It was a little bit like a combination of Logan's Run and Under the Dome. Anyway, it was really good. So we thoroughly enjoyed that. We're ready for the next season of For All Mankind too, because we're done watching season 4. I don't think we mentioned how we felt about Rob Maurer putting a video out there, The End, for Tesla Daily. And Don and I don't have exactly the same. Well, I mean, we're both sad to see it go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think.
Wishing well, but really sad to see it go.
Right. I would say I'm disappointed at the level of disappointment, because he said that he's not a great news reporter, but I beg to disagree with his insight on some of the articles and what it could mean versus what the media says it means and stuff. I think it was particularly insightful. Yeah. So I really don't want people to click on articles that are obviously driven to generate problems, make people leery of EVs, that kind of thing. So, but I was good with Rob clicking on it and interpreting it for us, right, because I choose
curator of news on Tesla and EVs.
Yeah, correct. I mean, now guys are great, but they don't do it every day, and sometimes I need what happened today assessment, not like Tesla Time News once a week. They do a real excellent job also, and we watch them all the time too, but it's not the same as what Rob does. It's just, they go a little more in depth, which is great. But I need that, God, this happened today, what does Rob think?
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, so I'm disappointed. I feel let down. I feel, if there are anyone out there that could talk about making videos since 2017 and the grind of coming up with content and sticking with it and getting it out there, and how you feel when you miss it, you know, might miss a day or you're running late or what. I mean, I would be the one that would understand that. So come on, Rob. If I had been there, I would have given him a little swift kick and told him to modify it in any way you need to, but don't stop, I guess. Right. I don't know. So I'm disappointed, but I'll let you say whatever you were going to say about it now, because you're not quite I think some people understand he's ready to move on, and you're really supportive of him as a person and stuff, but
yeah, he's going to be missed. I think that there is. I watch a lot of YouTubes. And I'll watch a lot of YouTubes on Tesla, but to find that quality of reporting as concise as an informative. I just don't think there's any daily. I don't think there's anybody else out there comes close. But if you know somebody, please comment, and Marianne will pass that on to me. But I don't know. I mean, he's gonna be missed. That level of analysis that he provided was very valuable to me.
Yeah, Don takes my feedback, feelings, and content desires into account when he selects what we're watching, but he does own the remote and he does select it over here, so he has not been putting Stephen Mark Ryan on as much as he was. You know, I have commented a few times that I missed that, because then I'm, but Rob gave us semblance and did a good job, I think, of trying to see all sides, and Stephen Mark Ryan's just interested in saying the Tesla side, and I don't want to watch people that are just out there to bash Tesla and hurt EVs, but I was good with Rob when he would, obviously, I just felt he was trying to be fair in reporting.
Balanced,
balanced. And Stephen Mark Ryan is obviously not as balanced.
He's fanboy.
Although obviously some days I really need to hear that when the media is really piling on the FUD stuff. It's been very upsetting. Yeah, big boy loves Don. He just thinks Don's the best. He just loves him. Johnny's moved out, down to college, and when I'm sitting there, he'll come to me for attention, but Don's sitting there by himself a lot, and the cat just loves him.
Can't be.
He just loves him. So anyway, what was I saying? I don't know what I was. Oh, the cold stuff. So I suppose we should spend just a minute on that. Obviously, we have friends that live in the areas where it's cold. We have a friend that lives in Chicago. We have multiple friends that live in Colorado. Bjorn would not have been able to make all the videos he makes in Norway in the middle of the frigid winter if EVs didn't work when it's cold out. So, that's been a little hard this week on top of the Hertz news and some other things. It just, I don't know. I tweeted last night that no, I am not considering ditching my EV or whatever the words were, because some news organization, Americans are reconsidering EVs after the recent, cold snap or whatever, because they just want clicks. I'm so done with it. The click, the agenda, I'm just so done with it. But EVs work fine in the cold in most cases, and use some common sense. I think we can all agree that people really need to focus. Go back to basics. Common sense would be one of them.
So the cold, I think the secret is preconditioning. Obviously, trying to charge a cold soaked battery at a public charger is a disaster. It doesn't matter how many chargers you've got, you're not going to have enough. Because it has to warm the battery up, and that just adds to the time you're going to be tying up the charger. And then on top of that, people want to charge longer because I need more range when it's cold. So that means instead of charging to 80%, some people were charging to 100%, and of course that takes forever anyway. So it was just a really, I think it's Kyle said in his video, education. I would call education being 3/4 of the problem, and the other quarter was the lack of the charger or the availability of the chargers. I really think people just don't understand how important preconditioning and keeping their battery warm is. And of course, that just goes back to, especially in cold climates, if you don't have home charging, don't get an electric car. Stay, just for now, don't do it. If you're going to depend on public chargers and you have absolutely got to go somewhere in your electric car and it's been sitting for 2 days at sub-zero and you think you're going to, just forget it. You know, you got to keep it, have a place to plug it in so you can precondition the battery before you go.
Right. Well, I'm going to agree with you 60% on that comment. But the thing is, I'm thinking of Miami, where it never gets cold. Public charging might work a little better in a non-super cold, but we were on the cold climate.
You were about the cold stuff.
Yeah, we did watch Kyle's video on simulating getting stuck in a traffic jam in a cold car.
Yeah.
And a stop and crawl, how long it would last. Because those articles are really upsetting when people basically get all the fear mongering, which is what it is when they're trying to tell you that if you get stuck in a blizzard out on the interstate, you're in trouble. I
personally think Kyle did the wrong test. He should go get a I don't know, whatever if your favorite ICE car is that's compatible with whichever his Model S. We'll go buy go get a gasoline version equivalent car.
Right.
Put a 25% charge in the Tesla battery.
Right.
Put a quarter tank of gasoline in the ICE car. Crank them up. Run the heat. Air conditioning, or run the
whatever you need to run.
Whatever you need, both cars. Just let them sit there, like you're stuck in a. We're stuck here.
Right. There's an accident on the interstate and it's blizzard conditions.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, which one runs out first? A 25% charged Model 3 or Model S or Model X, or a 25% charged Audi,
Lexus,
X7, or BMW i4, or a Mercedes-Benz Quattro Super Duper. I don't know what they are. Whatever these just let them sit there and run. Let the gasoline engines, they need to idle, keep the cabin warm.
Yeah, please pan to the person in the Tesla, and they're really warm and comfy, and they've got the fireplace screen up, or they're watching a YouTube.
That's right. And see, now I'm not talking about buying those ones with the 400-gallon gas tanks. I'm talking about the kind of cars that are getting stuck out here on the side of the road in an ice storm. Go find one of those, because the whole problem is you don't have but 1/8 of the tank of gas. It doesn't matter. You're going to run out of gas. So let's see, when you're really low on charge, what the answer is. Now, I will say, I don't mean a dead cold. I mean a 25%. You drive the car down to 25%. So the battery's in the climate, and you can do the same thing with the gas car, and then you just park them and see which one runs out first. That's the one that I would rather have seen.
Right. Well, Kyle's always asking for feedback on what to do in videos, so you should tweet that to him. I'm sure he would appreciate that feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess he found that test actually turned out better than he thought it would, or it did really good. But, you know, people, again, back to the common sense of, you know, realizing that you can both run out of gas and run out of charge.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're going to do.
But you're not fumigating the person behind you when you're sitting there in your ice car close in traffic.
They tell you not to run in snow and stuff, not to run your car.
Yes, carbon monoxide concerns.
They tell you not to do that, but you know, I'm willing to skip that concern. I'm willing to skip that concern about the CO2, carbon monoxide buildup. You just let the cars run. You don't have to actually sit in it. You know, you can go in and edit a video while it's doing it, but just see which one stops.
Yeah.
Because if you're stuck in, you know, the scenario, you're driving along on the interstate, driving from point A to point B, and you just pull up and there's the traffic's not moving and you're stuck. There's 50 cars behind, so you can't turn around. So you're going to sit here until the, quote, highway clears. If you're low on gasoline or low on charge, which one of the cars would you want to be when it's really cold out there?
Yeah, well, I told Don the other day, obviously the EV, specifically for me, the Tesla. But I told Don the other day, you know, I said something to the effect of go out to the garage and make sure both cars are plugged in and charging, because if we should lose power in that wind, I feel secure in my ability to go sit in my nice warm garage in my EV with the heat on. I mean, I don't worry about staying warm in the winter at all. I don't worry about being uncomfortable in the summer. Yep. If we lose the air conditioning, I mean, you know, I got to take the kiddies into account a little bit, but they're used to 40, 50 degrees. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
And I don't have to pull my car out of the garage to stay warm. So it's going to stay warmer inside the insulated walls of the garage than if I have to pull it out into my driveway to run it. So that was kind of important. I'm just going to briefly say that I was a little frustrated with the video that he did in Colorado with the sitting in the cold, because I felt like he had apologized to his fan base for doing the test in a Tesla. A couple of times he was a little apologetic about doing it in the Tesla. And I thought, wow, we've come to that now. So it was just my interpretation. That's an opinion. That was just my opinion in listening to it. So anyway, obviously we don't have enough cold here that it really matters. Right. I mean, yes, I can pull Ruby out of the garage, and I've not driven her for a few days, and I have limited regen for a short period of time because, you know, it's 50-ish degrees in the garage, and that's right about the cutoff point for the battery says it's cold. Yeah. So I can pull out, but that's just a minor. Well, in Ruby, I don't notice it too much. You might notice it more in Jules because the regen is more advanced anyway. You know, in Ruby, it's not quite as strong, so I'm not quite as inclined to notice it. But I don't know, it would be a little bit different this winter with this Duke thing, and when we can charge and stuff. If I was still on the road 100 miles a day, we would have to see. But we're doing fine this winter with our current driving needs. Hi, honey. How are ya? Good morning. She goes, I was waiting while you guys were talking. My seat's already warm.
That's right. I pre-conditioned the car.
After 9 a.m.
No, it wasn't plugged in. It just
used the battery in this case, yeah.
Right. Well,
gotcha.
It's just every morning when I go out and get in the car, it says warming up and so forth and so on, and you know, it takes it a minute, not long. I didn't mean it, but the point is, I said, well, you know, I don't get, about the time we get to the park, everything's all nice and snuggly and warm in here. I said, you know, if I just turned it on literally 3 minutes before I went outside, it will have finished all that stuff and be putting out heat. So that's what I did. I just told it to turn it on this morning.
Yeah, I got a message from Jules on my phone that says the cabin is now at the desired temperature or something like that. So I knew Don had done something, and yeah, my seat and everything's all nice and toasty. It makes it a little hard to get out to exercise though, but it's not horrible today. It's not. Today's actually nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 38% chance of rain right now.
Yeah, well, that rain we were supposed to have overnight never materialized either. So yeah, this was today. You might remember we were getting snowflakes, and I see they are working up here again on the road, on the utility pole.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to make good progress today. Well, there's a big outage in Durham. It's been going on. There was over 12,000 people without power for the last couple days. I mean, it's been a long time. They had a substation failure.
Oh wow, is that what it was?
Well, it was maintenance. They were doing maintenance at the substation. They found something that needed to be fixed, and it couldn't wait. So I don't know. They don't ever give you enough details to understand what's going on. They just tell you that they were doing maintenance and they discovered a problem that had to be addressed. They couldn't wait.
Hello, Bolt. The charge port door is not closed all the way. Are you wearing your shorts when it's cold again? It's windy. It's windy. It is really windy. I haven't been filming much. I told Don the reason why we talked at the house today is because out on the trail it's just been really inhospitable conditions for trying to film any conversation and talking, and you hear us and stuff. So we're getting her done out here. We're getting her done. What are you guys doing up here? Head back to the house. Head back to the house. Well, Stripe, and here comes Marty. Oh my goodness, Marty's running. Come on, Mart. He made it, you know, 25 feet running, and then he stopped. I don't know if you can see him or not. He's on this side of the bridge. This morning when I was out here with the kitties, the hawk was making a racket, and it is nest building season for them. They lay their eggs late January, early February, so they've got to convince each other where they want their nest to be. Boy, I wish they would move back into my yard. We're cleaning the oven. Now look, I don't care what the oven looks like on the inside. I really don't. The food doesn't touch the oven, but I spilled some grease the other day, and then last night we were fumigated. I mean, it was horrible. Like, the inside of the oven caught on fire for a little bit and startled me. Although I remembered if you keep the door closed and turn it off, it'll just burn itself out really quick. There's, you know, it's fine. It's not, that's not the end of the world inside the oven especially. But anyway, I spilled some grease the other day from the shepherd's pie because I overfilled my bowl. Didn't have tin foil underneath it. You know, I didn't do all the things. So, and it's been a while. So we're doing this. I'm trying to keep the smoke close to the fan, and it seems to be working. So hopefully it won't get as bad in here as it did last night. Our ribs that I made, they were well smoked. I'm gonna stay out here while the oven is cleaning. You know, it's just good to have somebody around to monitor it, I think. I'm gonna work on the castle. I'll probably finish it, except for the couple of parts I've got to add on when they arrive, which I haven't ordered yet because I want to make sure I don't need to add anything else. All right.
A moment of truth.
Yeah, it better be better.
That doesn't look so good.
Well, that's fine.
Oh, really?
Yep, well, that's about what you'd expect. A little white residue, and you got to go in there and wipe it down. Of course, you got to wait for it to get cool enough to wipe it, but
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's still a little warm.
I'll wipe that off, though, sooner than later.
Yes.
Before I get that on my shirt, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah.
150% improvement after wiping it out.
Yeah.
I did most of it, and I called Don out to do the hard, reachy to the back.
My arms are longer.
Exactly, part. So, teamwork.
Yep. I think it looks great.